need somebody that's driving well, who's driving the Ford Fiesta? And
So, as always, we're going to begin with Colossians 3, verse 17. We're going to give all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua. And we do so as we read Colossians 3, verse 17. Hope everybody's in preparation for the Day of Atonement, all right? Which is going to be the 8th at sundown to the 9th sundown. Okay, read that.
Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, Tuatam Yad Aman.
All right, so all praises. Everything we do in the name of the Most High, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua. Okay. The true Mashiach, because there's a false Mashiach out there that's taught in the church system, is taught in the world systems that are outside of the spirit of the Mashiach Yahushua, which is he's our king, he's our savior, he's the one who the Most High put in position, and the whole earth is to be in his hand. All right, so this is the true Yahushua that we go to the Most High in, because that's how he instructed us to do. All right, so like I said, we have a portion. Deuteronomy 31 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy 31, verse 1. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also, the Most High said unto me, Thou shalt not go over this Jordan. Yahweh thy power, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. And Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Most High hath said.
Right, so how old was Moses at this point? 120 years old. And he says that, listen, he's not going into the land. He knew that the Most High prophesied to him already that he would not enter the land. And he's also saying he's up in age, right? So he's not going to enter the land, he's up in age. So he's letting you know that Joshua is now going to take over. All right? He's going to take over Moses' position with the children of Israel, which was what? Their leader, their spiritual leader, but the Most High went through Moses to deal with the children of Israel, right? Moses and Aaron, right? Let's read.
And the Most High shall do unto them as he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And the Most High shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according to all the commandments which I have commanded you.
Right, so imagine this. The Most High said, I'm going to destroy these nations right before your face. So when you walk into the land, they have no defense, they have no way of fighting you off. Okay? This is the power that we serve. All right? In this world, we have this wrong idea of the Most High. But when you come to the scriptures, you get the right idea of the Most High, right? Which will take lives, right? Which chooses, right? That's the power that we serve. All right. Hold that to me. Exodus. Exodus 15:3.
Exodus verse 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
A man of what?
The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. That's the God that we serve. Okay? He just says he is going to go into, he's going to have his power, go into the land and destroy them. So when we come in the land, they will have no defense. Okay. Also, give me Revelations.
I got another precept.
Okay, what you got?
Numbers 21, verse 14. Numbers 21 and 14. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Most High.
But what is the Most High?
The book of the wars of the Most High.
Right, so our King, our Lord, is a warrior, King and Lord that we serve. Standing up for what's right. Okay. Some of you might go, Mashiach came, and now we don't war anymore. Do we still war? No, we have to war. Right? We're born into a battle, according to Scripture. We don't have a choice in the battle. You either win or you lose it. Right? Right? Either get the victory or be overcome. Right? Or be defeated. Right? Let's look at Revelations 19:11. Revelations 19, verse 11. So imagine we go into the land. These people, they living their life in the land. They're minding their own business. And the Most High is imagining and preparing to bring destruction. Right? Read that.
Revelation 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
Right?
And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Right? So Mashiach Yahushua, read on.
And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
He does what?
Judge and make war.
So not only the Most High, but also Mashiach Yahushua. What does he come to do?
Make war.
Make war. Make war. Okay. There's a time for all things on the earth. All right. We're not striveful people looking for death and destruction. But in the time that war must be, then it will be. Everybody understand that? Right? Right now, the battle that we're fighting is not physical. It's not hand-to-hand combat. We're fighting a battle, but it's what? It's spiritual. We are warriors because we're followers of the Most High, Bahashem HaMashiach Yahushua, in the name of the anointed Savior, which we just read in the Bible. The Most High and Christ were both what? Warriors. Huh? Right? They both was warriors. So what do we have to be?
Warriors.
We got to be warriors too. We got to be ready to put up a resistance. Right? We have to be ready for that because we're living in a time where this world will have us going straight, going to all matters of darkness if you do not put up a resistance. Right? Let's go back.
Deuteronomy 31, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according unto all the commandments which I have commanded you.
Uh-huh.
Be strong and of good courage.
Be what?
Be strong and of good courage.
That's how we got to move in the spirit. When the Most High wakes you up in this truth, you got to be strong and you got to be of good courage. Because you know you're going to be faced with a lot of what? Opposition. Everybody understand that? Living a righteous life, you're going to be faced with a lot of opposition. If you're weak, you're going to fall. Okay. If you're scared, you're going to fall. But if you're strong and you have good courage, you'll persevere. Read.
Fear not, nor be afraid of them.
Uh-huh.
For Yahweh thy power, he it is that doeth go with thee.
Uh-huh.
He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Right. And that's where our strength comes from. Our strength doesn't come from us taking stock of ourselves and saying, well, I'm strong. I'm strong-willed. It's not about your will. Your strength coming from the Most High. Do you understand that? Hold on, give me Isaiah 59, verse 2. Our strength comes from the Most High. Without him, we're powerless. It's not your intellect that have you here today keeping the Shabbat day. It's because you have been called and you answered. And you're moving in the spirit of the strength of the Most High God. Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Read.
Isaiah 59 verse 2. For your iniquities have separated between you and your God.
And your what?
And your God.
But when we sin, we're powerless because we get separated from our God. Our God is our power. Okay. So we have to stay near unto him by keeping the commandments, by keeping all the high holy days and keeping all the customs that the Most High has given unto us. Okay. Let's go back.
Deuteronomy 31 verse 7. And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him, 6, 37, 31 and 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahweh thy power, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Right.
And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him, in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of good courage, for thou must go with this people unto land which Yahweh has sworn unto their fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And Yahweh, he it is that doth go before thee.
Right. He
will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed.
Right. So we got to have this. Whatever we enter into, whatever battle we have, we got to know the Most High is with us. Right? And he will destroy our enemies before our faces. Okay, read.
And Moses wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Most High, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in a solemnity, right, yes, of the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles.
In the Feast of what?
Of Tabernacles.
So every 7 years, right? 7 years represents what? What happens in the 7th year?
Completion.
The completion, and it's the what? The release. It's the release. Yeah. That's why I said in the year of the release. So that's on the 7th year. And what month does the tabernacle? What month does the tabernacle come in? In the 7th month, right? So you're in the 7th year, on the 7th month of the year, right? Right. This is the time where we're going to present the Ark of the Covenant, right? So that the Most High uses certain numbers, and you also even stack those numbers. There's a Sabbath of years, a Sabbath of months. All right, let's read.
And also, there's not a coincidence. Esau uses that in you filing bankruptcy, right? They give you how many years? 7 years, right? So they know their whole judicial system is based off of the Torah, right? So they know this according to the Bible.
You go to even if you gamble, right? And you go to the casino or whatever, right? You pull a machine. What is the machine? What are you looking to get?
7.
You're going to get 7s. That's not a coincidence. He knows the powers that be. Right? This earth knows the powers that be. They try to tap into it, right? But they don't want to do what's right. What differentiates what just knowing something, the difference of knowing something and actually following. Okay? A lot of people know about the severs, they know about the power severs. Why are you keeping Torah? Are you keeping the commandments? Right? Right? All these entities on the earth, they know about these powerful numbers. Right? But they try to pervert it, usually on the left-hand side. Okay, let's read.
11th verse. When all Israel is come to appear before Yahweh thy power in the place which you shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn, and fear Yahweh your power, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn the fear of Yahweh your power, as long as ye live in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it.
Right, so he said for the rest of your life, we are to do what? What does he tell us to do?
Read up.
Read this Bible. Read this Torah. Read these laws. So that your children might know how to fear the Most High. So a lot of times these children nowadays, they even go to church, they don't read the law. Right? In church, they might pull a couple of scriptures, New Testament, don't really understand them. You know, pull a couple of verses to talk about their lives and how they feel and, you know, and everything. Because the Bible specifically tells us to teach our children the laws. Right? Read it in their ears that they may learn how to fear the Most High. Because if they never learn how to fear the Most High, right, what stops them from doing that? Evils in the earth. The scriptures say a child left to himself will bring his parents to sorrow. We see it all the time on the news. Child gets shot down, child, that happens. Why? You for sure know that child know not the Torah or the laws of the Most High. Okay.
Well, I just heard that they're going to allow children to determine what's sexual orientation they want. They want to be a boy or a girl. Right. So we're looking at a kingdom that's destined for destruction.
Yeah.
Okay. You got people talking about that. You know, we can make America great again and we can repair it. The only way America is going to be solved is for destruction. Right. Anybody have any other idea about trying to prolong the life of America? Okay, you're riding the wrong train. Okay, we as the Hebrew Israelites, we need to get ourselves together. You know, come back to the Lord, set the commandments of the Most High. That's our salvation, right? The Most High is looking for us to do what? To rehearse these righteous acts, right? Scripture say we all is filthy rags, but it's through the Most High's mercy who He's going to determine who that, you know, and what's the criteria? What is He looking for? What is He looking for? Those of us that are sincerely trying to repent, come back to the Lord, set the commandments, right? That what? That hate all the abomination that's being done on this earth. I had a conversation with a sister on that. Well, I don't really hate gay people, right? So what the Lord said, He said, He that justified the wicked condemned the just. They're both an abomination, right? So you can't be double-minded. You can't be on the fence, okay? Can't be double-minded. You have to choose. It's either the Most High doesn't deal with anything in between. It's either yay or nay. Anything else is evil, right?
Let's see Ecclesiastes 16 verse 1.
Sirach 16 verse 1. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children.
Right. So this is why the Most High said we must teach our children. The scriptures say, desire not the multitude of unprofitable children. What does it mean, unprofitable? Something is unprofitable. What does that mean? It doesn't produce anything. Right? It's important that we take the responsibility of making sure our children produce good works, or else they be unprofitable. The scripture say, don't desire unprofitable children. A lot of times we make the unprofitable child. Why? We leave them up to be what? Educated through what? TV and what they learn in the school system. And we don't teach them anything. Most of our young children in these neighborhoods, they learn everything from what they see on World Star and YouTube. And they barely watch TV anymore, or Netflix, or, and what they hear in school. As parents, we have a responsibility to teach our children. Everybody understand that? And what are we going to teach them? The laws. The laws of the Most High. This is what they need to know. Right? Read that again.
Sirach 16 verse 1. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in unrighteous sons.
Neither delight in unrighteous sons. Right? We got to be a shining example and push our children to do what is right in the sight of the Most High. You can't even be delighted if they're not doing what's right. You understand that? Sometimes you see it on the news. Oh, my son, he was a good boy. He just knocked over the liquor store, right? He's not a good boy right now, right? So we have to make sure that we ensure that we're not found guilty of not teaching our children. All right, read.
Though they multiply, rejoice not in them,
Go on.
except the fear of Yahweh be with them.
Right, and only enjoy them if the fear of the Most High is in them. Everybody understand that? Everybody automatically loves their children. But what is love? Right, keep the commandments. That's what love is. So when you say you love your children, you will give them these commandments. You constantly give it to them. Read on.
Trust not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000, and better is to die without children than to have them that are unrighteous.
Wow. He said, better you die without any children than to have them unrighteous. Okay? He said, one is better than 1,000. One righteous child is better than 1,000. Okay? This is a mentality that the Most High has handed down to us through wisdom. And the responsibility that he puts in our hands to ensure these things. Read.
For but one that have understanding shall the city be replenished. But the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate.
Read on.
Many such things have I seen with my eyes, and my ear have heard greater things than these.
Right.
In the congregation of the unrighteous shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire.
Right. So the Most High was going to judge us in our rebellion. So we must not be rebellious to this instruction. All right. So the scriptures say, bring their children, all, going back to Deuteronomy 31:13, it says, and that their children should have not known anything. Right. May hear and learn to fear Yahweh, your power. So we have to make sure they learn to fear the Most High God. All right, let's go back to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 31:13. And that their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear Yahweh your power, as long as ye live in the land where ye go overjoyed to possess it. And the Most High said to Moses, behold, the days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua and present yourself in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Most High appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Most High said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after other gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them.
Right, so it was prophesied already. He said, listen, you're not going to go, but you see the people you're talking to, they're not going to listen. They're going to go in the land and they're going to get with all the other nations and break the commandments yet again. Right? Yet again. Because there was something in us that the Most High, had recognized, and I guess we recognize it as well, that we're a rebellious people. Stiff-necked, hard-headed. Right? They don't want to hear the laws of the Most High. Okay? That's what the Bible says. Right? So we know this. But the Most High, through his infinite wisdom and his infinite mercy, has given us what? His Son. That we might what? Be able to, but our heart may be able to be softened towards the Most High. Okay. That's the level of importance is the Mashiach Yahushua, the Lamb of God. It allows us to enter into a covenant with which the laws of the Most High will be written in our inward parts. Right? Because if it was just for the teaching of it, we're going to go astray. Eventually, our minds are going to wander, to other entities on this earth and other false gods. So he prophesied to Noah, to Moses, let them know that this is going to come to pass. Right? So don't be fooled. All right, let's read.
Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our power is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they have wrought, and in that day are turned unto other gods.
Right. So we gotta, we live in an evil time. Our people is suffering in this kingdom. Right. Suffering. Imagine, well, the priest gonna bring that out later, but imagine we getting shot down and we getting unrightly incarcerated. Disproportionately profiled. There's a lot that our people are crying out about. That's why they came out with what? Black Lives Matter, right? If it wasn't an issue, they would never come up with that. Okay. I don't see, Chinese lives matter, East Indian lives matter, right? They're not the ones being targeted and destroyed at an alarming rate. Okay. The jail population is about 85, 90% so-called blacks and Hispanics. This is not coincidence. This is something you can go look and see for yourselves. All right. So when you read this Bible, understand when it said many evils shall come upon us, then we have all this history of evils come upon us. Slavery, bondage. We got to know that these things are the characteristics that let us know who we are. All right. Who we are. We are these people. Right? Other people commit crimes. They break the commandments of the Most High. Do they suffer what we suffer? Why is that? Why not? Why they don't suffer like we suffer? Curses. I heard the laws.
Because they weren't given the law.
They weren't given the law, brother. He's saving them for the big destruction, right? For the big payback. All these things are correct. Give me Amos 3 verse 1. Amos 3 verse 1.
Amos 3 verse 1. Hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Against who?
O children of Israel.
Read on.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying,
Come on.
You only.
You what?
You only.
You only, Israel. Read.
Have I known.
Have I known. Come on.
Of all the families of the earth.
Right. Come on.
Therefore, I will punish you.
I'll punish who?
Punish you.
Punish us. Right. Read on.
For all your iniquities.
That's why they can get away with their crime and their wickedness. And we can't get away with it too. Right? Because the Most High knows us. He has a relationship with us. He has a covenant with us. Right? There's a marriage that took place. Right? And when that marriage is taking place, we now have a responsibility. And if we don't live up to our responsibility, then we get what? The punishments. Right? We witness the punishments. It's time that we start to witness the blessings through our obedience. Okay. The Father said He would turn back our hearts to Him, and that's what's happening in these last days. Israel is waking up at an alarming rate. Everybody waking up. People are waking up. They're waking up all over this earth. Okay. It's getting to the point where Esau can't hide it anymore. Okay. He tried to suppress it. He tried to, pay off the leaders in the early times. Try to write checks and get them to go astray, thinking that would stop the movement. That didn't stop or slow down anything. Matter of fact, I believe it only multiplied because it made the word go all over the place. I mean, you can't do anything against the Most High. Everybody understand that? Right? Just when you thought you outsmarting Him, He already knew you was going to do that. Right? And has a plan all set up for that move. So that's why we have schools all over here, prophets all over here teaching the word, waking up people up. So you are early And that gives you a responsibility. Now you know you have to pass that. Just as it's freely given to you, you must give it. Everybody understand that? Responsibility falls on you now to teach or to bring it out or to educate the people around you of their true nationality, their real relationship with the Most High. How do you really come back to the Heavenly Father? Because a lot of our people in the church, and they're being misled, confused, holding the Bible but not really reading it, right? And so we gotta be mindful of that and be our brothers' keeper, especially as we're entering into the atonement. Which I will remind you again, is Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown, where we fast, right? Afflict our souls, eat nothing, drink nothing, right? Only thing in your mouth is the prayers of the Most High. You understand that? All right, it's the only thing that to be in your mouth from Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown, right? Giving yourself over to the Most High. And it's a blessing to do so. It's an opportunity. Right? It's an opportunity to get your slate clear. Right? To pray and the Most High ear is inclined. That's why they call it a high holy day. Right? The reason why they call it high holy days is because the Most High is what closer to you on that day, on those days. So you incline to your prayers. Okay, so let's be mindful of that. Right? The day is high and holy because it's higher than any other day. It brings you higher to the Most High. Right. All of our high holy days means that what we're higher, we're closer to the Father on that day. Everybody understand that? Okay.
Right, they're saying that Hebrews, like, they label us as a religion, but they're saying one of the fastest growing religion in this millennium. Right, so you had, I was watching that, they have the Godfather of Harlem, the guy Forrest Whitaker's playing Boney Johnson. It was actually bringing out some stuff they didn't even know. Like he was involved, he had interaction with Malcolm X. He did a lot. Involved a lot of politics. A lot of they came to him because he had a lot of control in Harlem. You understand? So we gotta understand that these churches, even though a lot of times you see brothers lash out in these churches, majority of our people are gonna come out of those churches. Not everybody in the church is gonna be condemned.
Right.
Right? You got some that's in Israel, that's in a part of the 2/3, right? Some of them are going to come out of the churches in the last Trump, last minute and be saved. So we can't write them off. A lot of brothers out there, they writing off, they say, when they see brothers acting effeminate or, homosexual behavior. And you got some camps teach that if you're homosexual, you can't find repentance. That's not true. There's camps that maybe receive them, not receive them better, but they still have a chance to repent, right? There's only one sin against the Most High, unforgivable. That's what? Blasphemy the Holy Spirit. So everything else is forgivable. So we got to keep that in mind. So back in Deuteronomy 31, verse 18. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they have wrought, and that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that flow with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods and serve them and provoke me and break my covenant.
Right.
And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know that their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge and said, be strong and of a good courage, But thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your power, that it may be there for a witness against thee. Right. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, I am yet alive with you this day. Ye have been rebellious against the Most High, and how much more after my death? Right. Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of the Most High, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended.
Right, so there's a song that we used to use music as a way of communication and a way of remembering something. Music oftentimes you can remember all the words of a song more than you can remember something that you've read. So we use music, a lot of the Psalms are songs, just to keep us remembering what the Most High did, how do we react, right? Keep our history, encapsulate our history through music. Okay, so we have here a lot of Zion brothers making music, trying to do the same and encapsulate this truth within the embodiment into music, so that we can always remember the things that the Most High has done. All right, so it's definitely a blessing, and wisdom to receive through the portion. And the portion is very short. That was the end of the portion. Get the Most High hand. That was the end of the portion for this Shabbat day. The portion today was very short. So we're going to go into some other lessons and understanding as we go forward. So,
right, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat. So, I'm going to touch a topic. It's in the mainstream. Recently the officer that ended up getting only 10 years for murdering their brother was named Gene. What's his name? So he can actually get out. She can actually get out as early as 3 years, 3 to 5 years. So I think when that judge was hugging us, said, "Don't worry, you're going to be out in 3 years," right? That was a comfort, but it's showing you the level of the Stockholm syndrome that's before our people, right? So the Most High, we had laws that were contained in the law as far as dealing with a situation like that. And she was actually, she was found guilty of murder. I mean, I've seen manslaughter get as much as 7 years, right? How do you get 10 years for murder, right? So, right, this is the brother, right? So give me Deuteronomy 19. We can start off at Deuteronomy 19 verse 6.
The book of Deuteronomy 19 verse 6. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot.
Right, so now the guy's brother, right? His heart should have been hot, right? Wanted to get revenge against the person that killed his brother. But what did he do? He hugged the person that murdered his brother. Right? Read that again.
Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, insomuch as he hated him not.
Okay, is for the other nations, but it's showing you what we had in our law. So we can say, imagine, well, what if this was another Israelite that performed this murder, right? We had the city of refuge, right? That this person can go until the matter is sorted out to find out if it was an accident or if it was on purpose, right? So there was another video. There's a sister named Bunny, right, that actually lived in a complex. So she filmed within the first, I think she said, first 2 minutes, right? She heard 2 shots. So she said after the woman shot him, that she was walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if she would have performed CPR or anything like, she could have saved the brother, right? So since then, she's lost her job, right? Because the job said, well, they don't want to be caught up in a high-profile case, right? She said that for a whole month, she said some undercover people came to her house and said they were federal agents. They weren't showing her ID. They didn't tell her what part of the federal government they were part of. Okay, so they were terrorizing her. She lost her job. They had to end up opening up a GoFundMe for her because she said that she was actually in the medical field, pharmaceutical field, right? And she got her credentials through the same job that fired her. So now she can't even go and get another job in that field because she don't have the credentials. But she says she's appealing it right now. Okay, so that's why she didn't mention what was the name of the job. So they're treating her like she's the actual criminal. Like she killed this guy. All she did was, and she said actually, when she first filmed it, she said she didn't upload it for another 40 hours until she heard this liar officer going up, giving her side of the story. Right? So that's when she uploaded it. But then she said she started getting, some entertainers, some high-profile people contacting her. She's been getting death threats, okay, for putting this up. So she said the cops will come into her and try to ask her the same question every day to try to change her story. Right? So I'm going to go into some more numbers. They're saying actually Texas has the highest rate of death, of putting people to death in Texas. So it's not a coincidence that they let this person get away. Read on.
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Deuteronomy 19, verse 7. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee.
Right, so we have the city of refuge that you were able to go and hide out in these 3 cities. Come on.
And if Jehovah thy power enlarge thy coast, as hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love Yahweh thy power, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add the 3 cities more,
Come on,
for thee, beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land.
Right, so now this guy was innocent. When the first thing happened, I'm hearing people saying that she said she saw marijuana in his apartment. Now I did more research into it, because when I started doing research the story, it would lead me to something else. So they were saying this guy was a pastor. Right? They were saying he was a pastor. The sister Bunny that lived there, she said that it was impossible for her to mistake her apartment for his apartment. There's so many indications to show you that you're on the wrong floor. Okay? And they said the type of doors they had, it was like automatic slam. There's no way the door could have been left open. I'm not sure the tie between her and this guy, but this is something that was done. It wasn't done by accident. Still trying to figure out what was the connection. Right? Come on. Read 11 again. 10.
Verse 10. That innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be not upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die.
Right, so this is the law of the Most High. They were actually supposed to take this cop and bring it to the brother, the mother, the father, and let them put hands on her. Right? She's not supposed to live and tell a story. And then you had the correction officer that came down, was patting her hair, massaging her. Well, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. Right? Then the judge gets off her chair to come down and hug her. And actually, I have there's a atheist non-for-profit organization that filed a complaint against her in the state of Texas. Okay, I don't know if she's gonna get taken out of her position. I don't know. They said because she actually gave this heathen a Bible and tell to read John 3:16, right? So all of a sudden everybody wants to read John 3:16, right? But when we were in slavery, in the 70s, when they were sicking dogs on us, killing us, okay? When they did the Tuskegee experiment, when they shooting out black men with syphilis, nobody knew John 3:16, like it just came out of the Bible.
Jim Crow laws.
Okay, Jim Crow, all these things that they did against us, right? So she's going to be an investigation. I don't know if she's going to lose her seat, but we know this is all a cover-up. So she probably wanted to lose her seat. Okay, she might get a promotion. And they were even saying that they checked this woman's Amber, her Texas. They said she had something against Martin Luther King, right? Black cops. They even said that she was actually, this judge was at a previous Martin Luther King parade, right? Then you turn around and let this woman off because they were shooting for 25 years, right? So how do you get to 10 years? Right, give me her bucket 1 and 4.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4.
Come on.
Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore what?
Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore the Lord is slack. I had this conversation with some of my colleagues at work. They were saying about how all men are created equal. So I said, well, when the Constitution was created in the USA under Satan's authority, okay, aka, what was the status of the so-called black man and black woman in America? We were slaves. So how could that Constitution, they say all men are created equal, apply to us? Right? According to the Constitution, we are so-called black men still considered 3/5 of a man. We're not even considered a whole man. So how do you figure these words that they're saying applies to you? Read that again.
Habakkuk 1 verse 4. Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore what?
Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore the Lord is slack. Come on.
And judgment doeth never go forth.
And what?
And judgment doeth never go forth.
Right, read this here.
Texas death penalty facts.
So I when I started going into this, like I said, one story led me to another story, gathering more facts on this thing, right? So this is some data information concerning the state of Texas. Read that.
The state of Texas has executed 565 people since 1982. Of these, 279 occurred during the administration of Texas Governor Rick Perry.
So I don't know if a lot of you remember this guy, Rick Perry. Who here remembers Rick Perry? Who remembers Rick Perry? What do you remember about him? He ran for president, right? So now there was something controversial during that time that made him drop out of the race, right? He had a ranch. The name of the ranch, who knows the name of that ranch? Who remembers the name of that ranch? It was called Niggerhead. Okay, it was called niggerhead. So we're gonna get more statistic. It's showing that the most black people were executed during the time he was governor of Texas. Right? Read on.
Okay. 279 occurred during the administration of Texas Governor Rick Perry.
So now that's a high number. Out of the 500 some odd people that were executed, he actually was responsible over to people being executed. Come on.
From 2001 to 2014.
Come on.
More than any other governor in U.S. history.
More than what?
Any other governor in U.S. history.
More than any other governor in U.S. history. Come on.
Executions peaked in Texas in 2000.
Come on.
Then 40 people were put to death.
Come on.
In 2018, the state of Texas put 13 people to death, accounting for more than half of the 25 U.S. executions last year.
So Texas actually were responsible for half of the amount of people that were executed, right? Single-handedly, right? Come on.
Texas is, oh, you want to?
Yeah, you can read on down.
Okay. Texas is responsible for 7 of the 16 executions nationwide to date in 2019.
So now, out of the 16, okay, 2019, Texas is responsible for 7, right? Come on.
6 executions have been stayed, 3 by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, and 3 by the federal courts.
So, I mean, they upheld it, but they will actually want to go through with it. Come on. 7
executions currently are scheduled to take place in Texas by the end of 2019.
Okay. So this is about it, and it's almost the end. Come on.
Harris County alone accounts for 130 executions, more than any state except Texas.
Right, so far Texas is hitting all the high numbers, all right? They coming in first place. Read.
Dallas County accounts for 61 executions, and Baker County accounts for 46.
Right, so you know this is Bush country, right? All this stuff that they forwarding for. Come on. Yeah, you can read that.
Over the last 5 years, more than 70% of death sentences have been imposed on people of color in Texas.
Read it again.
Over the last 5 years.
Over the last 5 years, right? Come on.
More than 70% of death sentences have been imposed on people of color in Texas.
People of color, like we're the only one that commit crimes, right? More than 70%. Come on.
While African Americans comprise less than 30% of Texas population.
Wait a minute. They only make up 13% of the Texas population. How is that even possible? Okay. How is that even possible? They only make up 30% of the state of Texas, right? Something is not right. Come on.
They comprise, let's start from the beginning. While African Americans comprise less than 30% of the Texas population, they comprise 44.5% of death row inmates, according to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Hispanics comprise of 26%, and whites comprise of 26.1%.
So if you
of
put
the death row population.
If you put what did the minister bring out earlier? The main population of our jail system is what? So-called blacks and Hispanics. Right? So this curse fell upon us as a nation, even though you got the doctors out there that, you know, the Israelites only Negroes. When we see that we are under the same curse as a nation. Right? Go back to the bucket 1 and 4.
Okay. Habakkuk 1 verse 4. Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore what?
Therefore the Lord is slack.
Therefore the Lord is slack. Come on.
And judgment to never go forth.
Right, judges never go forth. Why? Because there's one law for the other nation and one for the nation of Israel. Right? This is what this judge Kent, right? The so-called black woman. This is the reason that she gave the jury to consider, right? Coming up with a how they were going to sentence this cop. Hear what she said.
She was actually trying to coerce the
Right.
jury to let this lady go. They was trying to let the lady go. It's a mercy of the Most High that intervened for her to even get the 10 years.
Right.
If it was for their will, that judge and that brother, she would walk around that courtroom, and that brother and that young man's blood would be crying out from the ground.
Well, the brother's
Just
like
in the time of Cain and Abel.
he's talking about I want the best for her. Right? I want the best for her too. Shackles and chains. Okay? Picking cotton. Okay? Picking mangoes.
Right. Best thing she can do.
Okay? I don't want to leave Benjamin out. She got to pick some mangoes too.
Mangoes too soft to cut that cane.
Right? And it better not be too soft. It gotta be right. Read that.
On Monday, Kemp reportedly told the jury they should consider Texas's castle doctrine.
So this is in their law, right? In their law books. So there's something called a castle doctrine. Let's see what that means.
In this trial, which says that your home is your castle and you have the right to defend it.
So how many times we as so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans, the cops is busting our house,
Right.
okay, shoot us. Okay, you remember the story, Illinois bumpers years ago in New York City? They sent like 9 armed officers to evict her, and she had a butter knife and they killed her.
Right.
Okay. Abner Lima. Okay, he's somewhere down here in Florida. He sold out. They gave him some money. Came in to West Palm. I think he's somewhere in West Palm Beach. Okay. The list goes on and on, right? But then this is called what? The castle doctrine. Read that. Let's see what that means.
The decision was controversial because Geiger was not inside her home.
Right, that wasn't our house. That wasn't our apartment. So how's that even going to apply? You go into somebody else's apartment, kill them, and you want to use the argument as castle doctrine.
I thought this was my house.
I thought this was my house, right? And like this young lady brought out, her name is Bunny. You can look up the video. There's another YouTuber blogger that actually interviewed her because she said after she did one interview with the police, she said she stopped doing interviews. She said she been getting offers from TMZ, all these other people to do. She said she's not doing it. Right? They're trying to coerce her. They're trying to what they do. She said she did an interview with one person, and she said she wants to see the interview before it's actually published. So when she went to view it, she said they cut it up to make it look like she was trying to have sympathy for this cop, so she didn't give her permission to publish it. Right? So right now, her life is in danger. Right? She can't get a job. People threatening her. Okay? Like she's the one that actually pulled the trick and killed this young man. And they were saying that this guy they said they smelled marijuana. I'm reading other story that he was a pastor, sung in a choir, all types of stuff. They were automatically trying to paint a picture of this guy to justify this woman, okay, murdering this young man. Yes.
I'm not surprised they project. I'm assuming she's a sister.
She's what?
I'm assuming she's a sister. I'm assuming she's right?
Yeah, she is.
I'm not surprised because Esau will always be editing videos.
Right.
To alter, twist the narrative.
Right.
And videos. I'm not surprised.
Come.
It said, in the case, it said by the entry of the bullet, by her height, they said that he was most likely sitting down when she shot her.
Right.
He was sitting at the chair.
Sit in the chair. Come.
This kind of tragic what happened to this brother's incident, but from my understanding, like, it's kind of something funny going on. You saying that you thought it was your apartment, but you didn't notice all of the furniture was different, but the only thing you noticed was this black man sitting there.
Exactly.
But
Right.
you can't notice that the pictures on the wall or whatever. You know, that's kind of funny to me.
Right, because guess what?
Funny.
Well, it's a lot funny.
It's a straight lie. It's a bold-faced lie. You go to Walmart, pick up something, and walk out and say, "I thought I paid for it."
Right.
I remember paying for it. I don't know if it was today, maybe it was yesterday. I paid, but I be paying Walmart.
Right.
I just didn't pay today. That ain't gonna fly. That's not gonna fly in any other logic. So we cannot even rationalize what they're saying. It's a mockery what you're watching.
Right.
What you're watching is a bold-faced mockery of our blood. And this is why there's movements called Black Lives Matter, things of that sort. Because our blood is very cheap. All right? There's no equity for our lives in this kingdom. All right? So if our lives are lost, it's not that big a deal. That's basically what you're noticing. And what we've been bringing out for I don't know how long. Our lives, right, in this society are considered, it's not a big. They'll be quicker for animal cruelty, right? If she shot a dog, right, she was going to jail for longer than what she right?
They just gave her brother 45 years for shooting a police dog.
Police dog.
45 years. Then they had a black woman that just did a warning shot in the air. They gave her 20 years.
Yeah.
All right. Give me 2 Ezra 15 verse 8. Come.
It's a perfect example of showing you that our people are distraught.
Right.
Because we have more pity for the other nations than our people.
Right.
Because I'm sure that the brother who died, the guy who died, he is not wishing for her to get off, as his brother said.
Right. He's turning over in his grave right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I was telling a friend, I'm like, I know he's just like Job was saying that he can't wait to go in the spiritual realm to complain to God.
Right.
I know he's complaining to God like just 10 years, Like,
right. But we know also too that when somebody perished, they're not innocent. Right? But we just use this example to show that we know that these people have a perpetual hatred against our people. Right, read that. 2 Ezra 15 verse 8.
2 Ezra 15 verse 8.
Come on.
I will hold my tongue no more.
Right, so this is the Most High. He said, I will hold my tongue no more. Come on.
As touching their wickedness.
Of what?
As touching their wickedness.
Right, because America, see, they think they're going to go on forever. Like they're going to kill us, poison our food. Right, actually, somebody put that book up, that book about the ABC, what's it called? ABCs? I added that to my collection. I've been getting on one show. Right? So they try to poison our children, allowing them to choose their sexual orientation. Okay, it's a war on the Most High, and they turn around and say, "In God we trust." Where is America trusting in the Most High? Right? What God are you actually talking about? Not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? Read that again.
This is 2 Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 15, verse 8.
Come on.
I will hold my tongue no more, as touching their wickedness.
Right, so that's why you see all these earthquakes, the hurricanes, the forest fires, okay, the floods. You see what happened in the Bahamas, right? They said that storm was like 180 miles and just stood one place. How is it something moving 180 miles stay stationary in one place? Okay, there was nothing left. They were, and that actually, that Albacore, whatever island that was, they said they was like doing all types of witchcraft on that island. Right, so the Most High is bringing judgment. Right, so we have to make sure that we keep ourselves, okay, in the law and the commandments, that the Most High will find mercy on us. That you don't say, well, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Right, you don't want to be that person that was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Come on.
Which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise.
Right, same-sex marriage, okay? transgender. They just crowned this guy in a high school. Okay. What's that thing they do? Homecoming queen.
A young man.
Okay, a man. You tell me all these beautiful sisters out here. Okay, they even voted Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, okay, Woman of the Year. And none of the women, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, she's supposed to be some queen. She didn't, nobody complained about it. Oh, they even congratulated him. Okay. Huh.
Well, I know I saw it on YouTube yesterday that Mattel, Mattel.
Yeah, they're coming out. Yeah.
They're transgender dolls.
Right. So I mean, Mattel. These are when I was coming as a child, these dolls. So now they just turning wicked all the way up. But guess what? The Most High is allowing America to reach the peak of their wickedness, and then he's just going to lay it down. Right? America has surpassed the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, Babylon, Persia, and the Medes. If you put all those together in a Tootsie Roll, they still can't match up to the wickedness of America. They said they took the doctors, scientists took a womb from a woman and put it in a man so he can have a baby. Okay, Esau's a mad scientist. Okay, but you talk to our people, they say, well, is the white man, is he going to heaven? Okay, but what about the white man? What about him? He's in his heaven. Listen, she got 10 years. That's heaven. Okay, you got brothers going to jail. A brother just got out of jail, prison, doing 39 years, okay, for something he didn't do. 39 years. Okay, and you telling me she got 10 years for actual murder? That's not heaven. Come on, man, our people gotta wake up. And you got these Christians out there clapping their hands and say, oh, that's a beautiful thing. Chief or the judge forgive. Listen, I've never seen. I'm constantly going to Broward jails, like going to see brothers. I see cats going, and I've never seen a judge come off of the podium to come out and hug anybody or show any type of empathy, sympathy, nothing. And especially something this serious, because a lot of people have like petty crimes. Okay? You telling me you're a judge, you can't see that this was an actual murder? To give her a Bible, tell her read John 3:16, God has a purpose for you? Yes, to serve the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? I'm putting a special prayer starting today that the Most High give me her as a slave. Okay? I'm going to have her working 25 hours a day. That's right. Okay? Because her brother didn't seek justice. The father didn't seek justice. Okay? The mother didn't seek justice. Why? Because now they started some type of they're gonna get money, whatever. Just like they did with Trayvon Martin. I saw Trayvon Martin parents a while back. They did a cameo in some movie, writing checks, going to being speakers at keynote speakers at little places, getting a check. They're not worried about their son being killed no more. They talk about it, but now they're just getting paid. Right? So that's why the Most High sent forth his servants the prophets. He said, who shall stand up and fight for me against the evildoers? That's right. Right? We're out there in the highways and the byways. Nobody else is out there talking about the injustices that's happening to our people, the 12 tribes of Israel. But they say we're teaching hate. Right. Okay? Because we're exposing the evilness that they're doing in this society. Okay? We love the Most High. We love our people. That's why we're out there. But they hate the Most High. Because all the laws that they pass are contrary to the laws and the commandments that are contained in the Holy Bible. Come on.
Let's read Genesis real quick. Genesis 4:9.
Genesis
4:9.
Genesis 4, verse 9.
Read that.
And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried.
What?
The voice of thy brother's blood.
The voice of thy brother's blood, read,
cried unto me from the ground.
Cried unto me from the ground. You see, justice, the reason why justice is important is because the case is not closed because the person is no longer here, right? It is closed when due process has come to pass, right? That's why we had laws for this. We had laws to say, listen, if you were to kill someone by accident, then we had a certain process for that. We had the priest was bringing out the land of refuge, and you had the avenger of blood, the family member of the one that was slain, that would want to seek refuge, seek closure on the matter. They always talk about closure, right? Closure is when justice has been laid down, when righteous judgment has been executed, right? So if it hasn't been executed, what happens? Read that again. Four and 9.
And the Most High said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Right.
And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground.
The voice of thy brother's blood cried to me from the ground. Meaning that what? He knows he knows he's been slain, and there has been no one held accountable. And he's crying unto the Most High, Lord, I've been slain, and no one was held accountable.
Right.
Okay. The Most High knows. So right now, this brother here has been slain, and he's like somebody brought out. He's saying 10 years. Is that it? His voice is going to cry out to the Most High. Right? He's going to cry unto the Most High. Right? So understand this, that she might have, the level of evil that judge has done, even the level of evil that his brother, his family has done. I know they do it in the name of Jesus, but there's a lot of wickedness done in the name of Jesus. Okay? They use that as a crutch. They use that to pass on a lot of their own lustful thoughts. Their lustful thought was that they wanted to preserve this white woman because they value her life more than they value that young man that's lost it. All right? Right?
Yes, I just want to give a little testimony. I don't want to be just
Yes, sir.
anything like that. I just want to get some Lord keep down on my head. One day I was living in Tallahassee with my ex-wife.
Uh-huh.
She was out of there one Saturday morning about going to get some sheep. She was 8 months pregnant.
Right.
Probably didn't know that was my son or hers,
Right.
I mean, my daughter. But at the time, so about 6 months ago. So as we were traveling, we got past Pensacola. And then all of a sudden, beautiful started sprinting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sprinting. I got the hill. When we came out the hill, lo and behold, a big old black cloud sitting in the middle of the street. Like I said,
Right.
I said, Lord, we seen that. She looked at me. Grimace on her face. So I turned back around. She wasn't looking at me. So as I was turning, before I turned, a Roy Blue truck came flying. So as he turned, I turned too. And as I was turning, perfect circle opened up in that cloud. And when it was in it, it was white. I said, Lord, what you trying to tell? You go read the book. We ain't got nothing to worry about really, but I'm glad I'm here to get myself right.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised by a single parent.
Right.
Who was sick all the time, still taking care of me. You know what I mean? So I didn't realize that. I'm glad to be here so I can get that right.
Yeah. And that's the testimony. He said, when the Most High wants you, He gonna get you. Whether it be through the voice of a man, or voice of a woman, a vision, or a situation, He says He's not gonna leave any of His sheep. None of His sheep is gonna be left behind. So He's gonna come get you. He's gonna reap you, pull you for whatever you was involved in, right? And the time comes, okay, brother.
Y'all was saying with a brother, like two brothers out today. I was sharing scriptures with.
Uh-huh.
And then one was like, well, there's more white people locked up in prison more than black people.
Uh-huh.
So I asked him, have you ever been to prison?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I've never been to prison. I said, you talking to a man that's been getting in trouble since 13.
Uh-huh.
13, I've been in and out of jail, always my twin.
Right.
I've been from juvenile all the way to the Deut prison, probably about 5, 6 prisons.
Mm-hmm.
I did like close to almost 10 and a half years.
Right.
I went in at 16, but when I got my biggest sentence, I did 11 straight years.
Right.
Every camp I've been to is full of brothers.
Yeah.
Full of
No
brothers.
matter where you went, no matter where they
Where
sent you.
I went, it's like cattle.
So that's
Like
right.
lions.
That's right. That's right.
I'm laying on the bed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, please, Father, I gotta get myself together.
Yeah.
That's why I start studying, because I'm like, dang, I'm at these, these trains at South Florida, Central Florida, North Butler. Everyone I went to, you can see busloads,
Right.
like cattle,
Yeah.
lions
Mm-hmm.
of brothers and Latinos,
Yeah.
but not that many white.
That's right.
Filled the jailhouse up from the county jail, from juvenile, I was in juvenile. I've been Okeechobee in juvenile.
Right.
I've been in program. Everywhere I went, it's like you're in a black world.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We ran. I was put up in there.
Yeah, and that's the understanding where people can try to tell you something, but your own experiences, you start to recognize. Most I open up your eyes. Now your own life becomes an experience. It becomes a teacher too.
I was in the county jail, and it was a white guy in there. He had 30 burglaries.
Mm-hmm.
He was juvenile.
Yeah.
There was one brother in there. He had 3 burglaries.
Right.
He went to jail with 5 years. They sent him to prison with 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That white boy had 30 burglaries. We seen him go home. he loved probation. But that young bum, like, they gave you 5 years.
Yeah.
The white boy went home with 30 burglaries. So it just show you the difference in the law, how unequal it is when it comes to us.
Yeah.
Read
Absolutely, brother.
Genesis 9, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Genesis 9:6. Whoso shed of man's blood,
Uh-huh.
by man shall his blood be shed.
Right.
For in the image of the Most High made he man.
Right. He made man in his image. And the Most High has laws. If a man were to take a man's life, your life's supposed to be taken. Right? That's according to the word of the Most High. Right? So it's supposed to be a life for a life. Right? Because that takes away what that 30, having 30 lives under their belt. You take a life, you're gonna lose yours, right? But here, what did they do? You took a life and they're trying to give her hers back, right? They're trying to give her a new life, right? She didn't deserve the life that she's walking around with right now, right? I said Zechariah 11. Yeah, 11:5. So we understand. So we see it. When we see these situations, we got to bring them out because these are opportunities for us to see that the Bible is not lying. It's telling you what the situation is. We have to now this is the evidence showing we're living like that, right? That there's unjust laws, that our blood is our blood is considered cheap, but it doesn't go there. Most High hears our prayers. He hears this young man's blood crying out from the grave, right? And judgment will come, right?
Zechariah 11, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith Yahweh my power.
Come on.
Feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them.
Whose what?
Whose possessors slay them.
That's why I said feed the flock of the slaughter. Who's the flock of the slaughter? Who is that? We are. And the Most High said feed them. What do we feed them? The word of the Most High, right? So it says feed the flock of the slaughter, right? Whose possessors?
Whose possessors slay them,
right?
And hold themselves not guilty.
Hold themselves what?
Not guilty.
10 years.
Not guilty.
Right? Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
Not guilty.
Let me give you a hug.
Not guilty.
She be out in 3.
Not guilty.
Mine only do 6 months.
Not guilty.
In this kingdom.
Not guilty.
Right. So we have to understand that. We have to understand that this is what we're up against. People come to you and say, the Gentiles can be saved and the white man can go to the kingdom too. And I wonder if they notice what we suffer, right? If you don't notice the suffering, you might think that anybody can go into the kingdom, right? But when you know that it's those that suffering is the ones that's going to be returned to their power, then you realize this is a relationship between the so-called blacks and Hispanics and the Most High, because we're witnessing what has happened to us as a people, right? It's not something we read about. We don't got to go into a history book from way back when to see that we're being slaughtered and our oppressors are being held not guilty. It's happening every week. Every week, right now it's happening, right? So we don't need anybody to go into any historical event or books for us to see the crime that's been committed against our people. Okay. Also want to get one more scripture. 2 Ezra 7:42.
Second Ezra 7, verse 42.
Uh-huh.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end, where much glory doth abide.
Right.
Therefore have they prayed for the weak.
Right.
But the day of doom shall be the end of this time.
Right.
And the beginning of the immortality for to come.
Right. So we're looking for the end of this time. Right. We're not trying to preserve this world. We know we're not going to get a fair shake in it. That's why we go to the Most High. Right. We don't go to the court system. We don't go to vote new judges in or deal with trying to rectify or make straight that the Most High made crooked. If the Most High made something crooked, can we straighten it? So we're not trying to fix America, right? We have to fix ourselves and our relationship with the Most High, right? We can be straightened, but we were made to be straight. We were made to be immortal. We have taken on mortality, but we were made to be immortal. It means to live always. Read. More verses. We had 2 Ezra 7. We read 42. Read 43 again, 44 and 45.
2 Ezra 7:42. He answered and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak.
Come on.
But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come.
Read.
Wherein corruption is past.
Right.
Intemperance is at its end. Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up.
That's what's happening. Right? The wickedness is being taken out. Right? The wickedness is being destroyed amongst the people of the children of Israel. What you're learning here is to take the wickedness, to see evil for what it is, and take it out of you. Right? So that what? You can be built up. Righteousness is grown. The truth is sprung up in you. Read on.
Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. To oppress him that have gotten the victory.
Right. Nobody be able to oppress him that got the victory or save him that got destroyed. So there's a destruction coming to the wicked that no one can, I don't care what doctrine they come up with. The wicked is going to be judged.
Right.
Scripture say, no hand join in hand, the wicked should not go what? Unpunished. So don't be fooled, don't be duped. The wicked, which is, we can see who the wicked is, right? They're going to get their judgment. And your victory will be your salvation. So as we see these atrocities, like these cases go by, you got to remember that they will get their day, right? They will get their day, right? Not today, but by the hand of the Most High, He's going to bring judgment on these nations, right? She might have got away today, but that's not 10, right? She got away with 10, but the Most High judgment will be upon her. Everybody understand that? That's the only thing that can comfort us when we see things like this. That y'all know that y'all saw it too.
Right.
Right?
Go back to 2 Ezra 15 and 8.
2 Ezra
15 verse 8.
Second Ezra 15 verse 8.
Come on.
I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Come on. Now this is the wicked act. Okay, to add insult on top of injury, okay, the man was murdered, okay, gave this cop 10 years, okay, hugged her, okay, showed her empathy and sympathy, rubbed her hair, okay. So the Most High, he's bringing judgment. And he said what? That he's not going to meet us like a man. That's why you see these earthquakes, the forest fires, you see all these things happen. The system, the economic system in America is formed. They keep printing more money, right? I mean, the dollar is actually worth like 10 cents. Right? Donald Trump said he just spent $1.5 trillion in upgrading, okay, the military equipment. Right now, he's saying that they have the biggest warship out of all the countries, and he said he's about to spend another $1 billion. Right? But you got places like California with Skid Row, okay, corners and corners of homeless people, but you spending $1.5 trillion on military defense. Right? Come on.
Which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things.
Come on.
In which they wickedly exercise themselves.
Which they what?
Wickedly exercise themselves.
Right, they pushing this gay agenda, transgender. Come on.
Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me.
The what?
The innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me.
Right, we just read that with Cain and Abel. He said, "Am I thy brother's keeper?" Right? Jacob and Esau, we are brothers. But guess what? They have that perpetual hatred. Okay? They hate us in the spirit, knowing that what? The Most High said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And they know that in the spirit. They know that the Most High hates them. Okay? Though they sought for repentance, the Most High said what? There is no repentance for Esau. Right? Come on.
The innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me.
Right, so this man, Gene, his blood, he's from, they said his family from St. Lucia. Okay, they're from St. Lucia. Come on.
And the souls of the just complain continually.
They what?
Complain continually.
Right, these people are crying out from the ground, continuing to the Most High. When are you going to bring judgment on the earth? When are you going to destroy America? Okay, you think you're the only ones living? We think that we're living and we're looking for justice. What about the people that they murdered, that's buried? Okay, their soul is crying to the Most High. Okay, ask the Most High to bring vengeance. Give me Psalms 50 and 16. Psalms 50 verse 16. Oh, before you go there, give me Obadiah 1 and 10. Before you go there, Obadiah 1 verse 10.
All right, Obadiah 1 verse 10.
Obadiah 1 and 10. Obadiah, the first chapter, 10 verse.
Obadiah 1 verse 10.
Come on.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For what?
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Come on.
Shame shall cover thee.
Shame shall what?
Shame shall cover thee.
Right, so America's being exposed. Okay? All the countries looking at it, they call America what? The mother of harlots. Right? The United Nations building is located where? In New York City. Right? All the nations come here to make up all their laws. Or when they want to set a sanction or embargo against a country, they make they have their meeting right here, the G7. Okay, all these major countries, they're all in allegiance against the Most High because all their laws are against the laws and the commandments of the Most High God. When they say God will trust, what God are they actually talking about? Satan. Okay, that's what USA stands for, under Satan's authority. That's it on that. Give me
No.
more. Come on.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Come on.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
And what?
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right. For those of you trying to save Esau, trying to say, well, bring him in the kingdom, the Most High said what? They're gonna be cut off forever. Well, you guys are preaching, hey, all we're doing is bring out the laws and the commandments, the prophecy of the Most High. Come.
Precept that goes with that.
What you got?
Amos 1 and 11.
Give me Psalms 50 verse 20. Psalms 50 verse 20. As you can see, what? The Most High speed up the time. This year is almost over. Right? This year is almost over. Why? Because the Most High says he's going to do what? He's going to cut the time short. Right? He's speeding up this time. But what does that mean for us as a nation? That we got to get ourselves together. Okay? Because the Most High said his judgment shall begin where? In his sanctuary, in his house. Who's the house of the Most High? Israel. Come on.
Psalms 50 verse 20.
Come on.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son.
Now what?
Thou slanderest thy own mother's son.
Right, so this is Esau going to the Most High. Right? They made up all these stories about he was smoking marijuana, he was this, he that. The first thing they do when they try to cover themselves up, they try to defame that person's character. Right? Even if he was smoking marijuana, they legalized it now, didn't they? They said legalize the herb. Right? So now, so what? Even if he was, but they said he was a pastor, he was a preacher. So read that again.
Psalms 50 verse 20.
Come on.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son.
Come on. Because Jacob and Esau had the same parents, right? Come on.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself.
Right, for over 400 years they terrorized us. Okay? Had us in slavery. So they said, you know what? The white man said, if there's any God, if there is there a son of God, he has to be a Caucasian. There's no doubt about it. There's no way that we can get away with all these things, okay, without being checked, without being punished. Read that again.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Though thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself.
Right, so they said, man, you know, he's got to be a Caucasian. God bless America. Okay? We're doing the most devilish things, and nobody can stop us. We got these ICBM missiles. We got the Moab bomb, the mother of all bombs. Okay? We're going into other countries, starting wars. Okay? Then we come in and make like Superman, like we're bringing some type of civil rest. They got everybody fooled. Okay? Years ago when I was going to Jamaica, America would send food over there. They would send rice with feces in the rice. Right? They would send beef that was like they had the mad cow disease, all kind of stuff going on. So this is what they would do. They would send all kind of when the white man came to America, what did they do? They gave the so-called Indians what blankets with smallpox. Right? The Tuskegee experiment, what were they doing? They were shooting black men with syphilis. So all these things that they did to our people, and they still thinking that they're going into the kingdom of heaven. And our people talking about, well, that's the past. Right? Does a white man forget anything in the past? Huh? They just finished observing what? 9/11. Right? They just finished observing 9/11. They said, remember 9/11. And it's a coincidence that so-called 9/11, that all the Jewish people called in sick that day. None of them came to work. Why is that? Okay. They got the memo. They knew that was going to go down. Right, they're the one that did it, right? Give me Zechariah 2, verse 8. Zechariah 2, verse 8. Most High's wrath is upon America. There's no, the only future for America is destruction. Zechariah 2 and 8.
Zechariah 2 verse 8.
Come on.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Thus saith who?
The Lord of hosts.
Thus saith the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Come on.
After the glory hath been sent me unto the nations which spoil you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye.
Read that again from the top.
Zechariah 2 verse 8. For thus saith the power of hosts. After the glory hath he sent me unto the nations.
Right, so the Most High have us out there in the highways and the byways, right, trying to fish out people, okay? Enlightening them all the injustices, okay? Giving them the gospel. What's the gospel? The good news, right? That the kingdom of heaven belongs to you. That Christ, the so-called black man, is coming back to redeem the 12 tribes of Israel and put us back in rulership. Come on.
For he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye.
Right, so the Most High said that what? That Israel is the apple of his eye. He said, if the Most High said they touch you, they touching me. Come. What's that?
2 Maccabees chapter 34. No, 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 34 to 35.
Let's see what that says. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Come, with Edom, right? So, I mean, all these scriptures, I mean, it's in the Bible, right? How come these pastors don't read that? Okay. How do we know that this judge is going to give, the judge is going to give her a Bible and tell her John 3:6? And first of all, this is against their own constitution to give somebody a Bible in their courtroom. So I have the actual letter. It's a non-for-profit atheist organization that wrote a letter complaining about this judge. Okay, an atheist non-for-profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freedom from religion, I think it's called. What is that? What did you call it?
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 34 and 35.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 34. But thou, but thou, O godless man, and of all others most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, not puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up the hand against the servant of Yahweh.
Right, so they the Most High allowed us to go in the hands of our enemy, but listen, Esau's doing a little bit too much. Okay? He's gone too far. Right? This whole transgender thing, homosexual, is out of control. Okay? Allowing children, like, what's his name? What's that guy? Dwayne Wade said his son said he's homeless. How could you know you're homosexual at 10 years old? Okay? Unless you know these guys like, because even Magic Johnson, probably them guys around Magic sleeping with his son. Right? They were saying that Richard Pryor, what's that guy? Paul Mooney was sleeping with his son. But I always knew when I watched Paul Mooney, I was like, I don't know, man, he looks suspect. The hand gestures, the way he talks. Okay, so his two sons, which was, his sons, they came up to defend him, both of his sons, which is, what you do as a son. But man, I don't know, man. Things look simple. Why would Richard Pryor's son, right, after all this time, come up and say a lie against him? As a man, that's the most embarrassing thing for a man to say something like this happened to you. So why would he make up that story? Right. And then the bodyguard for Richard Pryor confirmed that. He said that Richard Pryor wanted to put a hit out on him, on Paul Mooney. But we see this is something that's regular that happens in Hollywood, okay, in the music industry. Okay, this is a regular thing. Come on, is there any of that?
Verse 35. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty Yahweh, who seeth all things.
Right, so they thinking they getting away with it. They thinking like OJ, the glove don't fit, he must have quit. Okay, and they still came back and got him later. He thought he got away. Listen, how do you get away with murder and then end up doing 10 years for stealing your own stuff? I just don't understand that one. But you know what happened? After he ended up, you already killed a white woman, then you go marry, then you start dating another white woman. He didn't learn this. The mother like, listen, man, you just don't learn, man. I'm gonna lock you up. What? Wrote a book, right? If I did it. You know you damn did it. If I did it. The way he wrote the book is exactly how everything, you know you killed that woman and the boyfriend. Okay. So now they got this thing now where these husbands are going around suing these lovers that, you know, that took their wives, they suing them in court. One guy got $750,000. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got to show proof that they had a good marriage, that you came in and busted it up. The guy won $750,000, another won $1 million. Okay. But all these things, if we had this, all the things we had, the Most High gave us a blueprint. But everything is out of whack in this society, right? Everything is out of whack. Okay. So Esau tried to come up. His way of solving the situation. And after the fact, he tried to put a band-aid over a wound. Right? From there, give me Ezekiel 18 and 25. Ezekiel 18 verse 25. So after that, I'm going to read this statement from this people that lodge a complaint against the judge.
Ezekiel 18 verse 25. Yet ye say, the way of the Most High is not equal. Hear ye, O house of Israel, is not my way equal? Are not your ways unequal?
Right, so we go out there and tell our people that, listen, man, the Most High said you're a special people. But you say, but what about the white man? John 3:16. Okay? The Most High give his law, said a commandment. He tells us that, says what? Never trust our enemy. Right? The Bible says that what? We will be sold into the hand of our enemies. Okay? But you want to hold hands. Give me Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 and 15. Right? If it be left up to them, we have a rainbow coalition in the kingdom. If it's left up to you, listen, they should classify Christianity as a disease.
That's right.
Okay? It should be classified as a disease.
Mental deficiency.
Right, mental disorder, right?
Isaiah 13 verse 15.
Look at this book is entitled, this is a brother, D'Amico Booth. He said, why are so many black men in prison? Right? Why? Because our people have failed to keep the laws and the commandments.
Right.
Right? We have prison ministry, we encourage the brothers to keep the commandments. And we have brothers in there that's quoting scriptures that know, and like you look at, you don't want to be judgmental, like, okay, but why are you here? Okay. They trying to show you scriptures. Right? But that's what the scriptures say, what? That you continually have those that keep the commandments around you. Okay? Because a lot of times, and we see the way this system, and I'm not rightly going to blame them all the way, because you got some of them that may return, because why? This system is designed that they're going to end up going back in. Some of them try to go and get a 9 to 5. And when they get that questionnaire, have you been felony within the past 10 years? And you say yes, okay, this job has been filled already. Okay, this job has just been filled. Well, don't call us, we'll call you. Right? Read that.
Isaiah 13 verse 15.
Come on.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Come on.
And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Right, so that Ebony and Ivory Spirit, okay, Rainbow Coalition, okay, The Most High's not dealing with that. You're going to be end up caught up. There was a situation. There was a Jake that was. This happened in Israel. He was at a bar mitzvah, right? Jake, say he's so-called. You say he's Jewish. He's up there. Some Arabs end up bombing the place. He ended up dying. Okay. So you don't want to be one of those in the wrong place at the wrong time. When the Most High send out judgment on these nations. Right? Remember the times of Israel when the Most High was sending plagues in Egypt, Goshen, the hood, right, was protected. Most High, it was safe. A lot of our people, as soon as we get money, we want to move in Beverly Hills. Like, what's that guy? What's his name? The unconscious community. Polite. He moved to Beverly Hills. Okay. He said the people in the project. He said they are animals. After they took all their money, right there. Now they're animals.
There's support.
Right.
The ones that made him who he is.
They put him on that where he was at, money, and they crowned him the king of the conscious community. Now he said they're animals. Now you see him out there with Becky taking photos.
The black woman is God.
Okay, the black woman is God, but he's taking pictures with a white woman. The black woman is God, but he's taking their money. There was one sister, she said that I think he had some kind of Ponzi scheme where he said he was buying some real estate. Right? She got $10,000 from one sister. She never got her money back. Right? But a lot of these guys you see, they're doing this thing. All of them that used to be, you had young Pharaoh, what's that guy that calls himself the general?
General
Seti. They were all together with Sunday, and all of them broke them now. They're doing their own thing. Red pill, they all separated now.
They only together when they come against Israel, the Most High.
Right.
That's the only time they come together.
Well, that's what's making them current now, because the Bible is current, right? The Bible is the only book on earth that can never be outdated.
That's right.
Okay? So when their views are low, let's get on the Bible so we can get some views. Okay? Because what are you going to talk about? The Book of the Dead? Okay? Kemet? Okay? What is it? The Meta, okay? What is that? What is it? Listen, do any of these books tell you about salvation or how we got to be in this position? What? The only time when these kingdoms, Egypt, Babylon, the only time when they were great is when.
Right.
Look at Egypt now. Is anything great going to Egypt now? No. Because they import all our people over there. You got some people still over there, but there's nothing going on. Okay. Actually, they're over there in poverty. Right? So Esau had all the importers all over here. Okay, because America painting that picture. They outsourcing, having people coming from all these different countries. Because why? Social media went out there. Yeah, there's money sitting on the ground in America. All you gotta do is walk outside and pick it up. It's right there on the ground. Okay, that's that picture they're painting throughout the earth. As soon as you get up the airplane and you walk to the airport, there's gold and silver sitting on the floor. All you gotta do is pick it up. How many people come from the Caribbean and say, I'm just gonna go there and make some money and I'm going back to so-and-so island? You said that, right? And you're still here, right?
The trap.
It's a testimony.
It's a trap.
Okay, that's that spider's web. First of all, you get a house, because you gotta get a house. Will they give you 30-year loan? Okay, so that's 30 years right there.
If you don't refinance.
If you don't, and that's another time added on, right? Another 10 years added on to that. Then you may have gotten a house for $200,000, and at the end of that 30 years, how much you paid for it? $500,000. Right? Get a car, that's another finance bill, right? Student loan, I want to further my education, right? There was when I was working at American Express, there was a sister there. She would actually keep re-enrolling herself in school so she can keep putting on paying the loan. I'm like, I'm trying to understand the logic of that, but aren't you owing more money? if you take another loan, you're deferring your previous loan, but then you're owing more money, right? So she owed like about $100,000, right? And I was making more than her. So they even did a study. They said, is your college diploma worth even the papers written on? Listen, one day we were doing street ministry. There was a guy that was homeless. He said he used to be a scientist. A scientist, homeless. Okay, this guy was taking physics, algebra, calculus, and he was homeless. Okay.
You got a precept for that in Haggai 1:6.
What you got?
About the Haggai 1:6.
Titus 1:6.
Hagar.
Oh, Hagar.
You blowing your money?
Oh, okay.
Right. It's like the way you make the money, but it's like you put your money in a
Right.
bag or a hole in it.
Right.
You get paid and it goes straight to another white man, you know.
But the scriptures say what? The wisdom of this world is foolishness. Okay. I remember Marshall, the elder, you see him on the picture there, he used to tell us, like, take a trade, right? You don't take something that you got to depend on somebody else to give you a paycheck, okay? That you take something that you making your own moves, you're making your own money. Sometimes being self-employed is harder than working 9 to 5. So, well, all times, right?
Buy a house and I have my credit was basically garbage.
Right.
My credit was like 530.
Right.
But I met this white lady. She said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I ain't not your credit. It's 100 francs out. I'll get you a loan."
Right.
So she came back and said, "Well, I got you a loan for 270,000, but you only got qualified for 70% of the loan, and she's gonna take 30%." And I told her, "You crazy? I'm not taking that. I ain't make no agreement because she was trying to take like $50,000 out of the money. You could get me caught up in a high mortgage.
Right.
In a right house in the neighborhood that's probably ain't worth for 110. And by the time I pay $270 from the bank, you know the interest is gonna get on that. She's gonna run away with $40,000-$50,000 and don't be left stuck with $1,800 house mortgage.
And she's hoping that you probably go foreclosed on. Okay, the bank they got their money because it's insured.
Yeah, I see insured.
You know what I'm saying? It's insured, so you all jacked up. Right, so we see on the wiles of Satan in this system. Okay, and they hide it under their laws. Okay, their penal codes. Right? So from there, give me Proverbs 17 and 15. Proverbs 17 and 15.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 15. Read. He that judgeth the wicked, he that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination to the Most High.
Right, so the Most High said they are both an abomination. So we see this unjust verdict that they had, giving this woman 10 years in prison. Okay, the brother going to hug her up, the judge hugging her. Okay, this man's blood is crying to the Most High. So this is an actual complaint that this non-for-profit organization wrote. Okay, on behalf of this judge. Okay, she may lose her, I don't know, the judgeship. We'll see how it plays out.
It says, we are writing on behalf of the Freedom from Religion Foundation to raise possible violations of the Code of Judicial Conduct by Judge Tammy Kemp.
Right, that's her name, Tammy Kemp, the judge. Come on.
On the 204th Judicial District. FFRF is a national nonprofit organization with more than 30,000 members across the country.
Now, there they don't say, but I'll read another information. They said they're an atheist group. So they said they got 30,000 members. Come on.
including more than 1,300 members in Texas and an active state chapter. We protect the constitutional principle of separation between state and church. Judge Kemp tied former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger in her courtroom, right, from September 23rd to October 2019,
Right.
for the murder of Button Jean.
So now they put murder, right? Come on.
We write to raise your awareness of Judge Kemp's actions at the close of the trial, during which she gifted a Christian Bible instructing the convicted criminal on how to read the Bible,
Right.
and which passages to pay attention to.
Now let's see what scripture she went to. Come on.
And witnessing to that convicted murder.
Convicted murderer. Come on.
This proselytizing action overstepped judicial authority, were inappropriate, and were unconstitutional.
Right. So it says she overstepped the boundary. Come on.
Courtroom video shows that after the sentencing of the victim impacts, and the victim impact statement, Judge Kemp left the courtroom, then returned holding her personal Bible.
She gave her not a somewhat random Bible, her own personal Bible. She probably had highlights in there. Okay, it was probably handed down from a family member.
Precepts in there.
Precepts.
Wrong precepts.
Okay, John 3:16. Come on. Wrong precepts.
She walked over to Amber Geiger at the defense table and proceeded to preach.
Well, come on.
You can have my Bible.
You can have what?
You can have my Bible.
You can have my Bible. Come on.
I have 3 or 4 more at home.
Right, collecting dust. Come on.
This is this is the one I use every day.
Right, this is the one she loved the best. Okay, this is the one she cherished. Okay, she cherished this Bible. Come on.
This is your job for the next month.
Right.
You read right here, John 3:16.
You read what?
John 3:16.
You read John 3:16. Listen, John 3:16 is a universal verse. They have it translated in every different language. Okay, come on.
And this is where you start. For God so loved the world.
For what?
For God so loved the world.
For God so loved the world. Come on.
That he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever, all right, you stop at whosoever.
So they say that she emphasized on whosoever, right? She came back, and whosoever, okay, even you being a murderer, shot this man in his own house, okay, God still loves you, right? Whosoever, come on.
And says, Amber, you start with the Gospels. Then okay. You start with the Gospels, then you read this whole book of John, but likely where Judge said, this will straighten you.
This will what?
This will strengthen you. Sorry, this will strengthen you.
This will strengthen you. Come on. Because they're going to be getting at her, right? She going to be somebody's boyfriend, okay, up in there. Or girlfriend, I don't know which one they call up in there. Come on.
You just need a tiny mustard seed of faith.
Yeah, she gonna need it. But they might have some type of protective program or somewhere, somewhere hide it off. Listen, she might not be in jail because actually they were saying that they actually when I'm going to the Broward court, you got guys that got little petty crimes and they got them in shackles and chains, right? This lady committed murder and they took the shackles and chains off of her. okay, took the shackles and chain off this murderer.
Look what she wearing. She's not even wearing like a jail uniform.
Right, and they didn't even she got convicted. They allowed her to come back to court. Okay, now they got what's the name? R. Kelly's locked up. Okay, for a crime that they trying to pass pedophilia in their law. So why you have this man in jail? You have certain states and countries where they're allowing grown men to marry little children. But you got R. Kelly locked up in prison.
Who was that Hollywood Weinstein, that one that married his adopted daughter, Chinese one.
Oh, that was Woody Allen.
Woody Allen, right?
Woody
Allen, right? Woody Allen, director, right? Married his adopted daughter, and she was well underage when he adopted her. So he messed with her until she got 18, then married, right? And just slide on by. Right? We're not saying we're condoning this behavior, but we're showing the injustice of the law system.
Double standard.
Double standard. All right, R. Kelly going off too, right? But they got him locked up, and so many of that do the same things he do. They're walking around. All right.
Epstein, they killed Epstein because they even said that
they killed Epstein.
One of those princes, one of those guys from England, they say he was involved in that whole sex trade. Yeah. So they said Epstein was going to expose too many people. So they had to kill him. Okay, so we see this thing. You finished on that?
One last piece here. So you start with this. This has been.
You start with John 3:16.
Right? This has been put in front for you for a reason. He was he has a purpose for you.
Yeah, that's right. Captivity,
right.
Slavery.
This is no reason why. Right? So that's it.
So he said he has a purpose. So, I mean, as soon as a person of color commits a crime, they call him an animal, a monster. Okay?
Notice like the only picture they were broadcasting. The only picture they were broadcasting was her crying.
Right.
So you know that saying when they say the white tears are coming.
But they said she wasn't crying. They said the judge was crying for her. Right? We said, Master, we sick. Master, we going to jail.
We go to jail, Master. It says, Judge Kemp then hugged Geiger and said to her, "It is not because I'm good. It's because I believe in Christ. And I am not so good. You haven't done as much as you think." You haven't.
Listen, in all my time of going to courts, and I've heard people with less crime be labeled as some type of monster, beast,
murder,
animal.
Once you miss your parole, you go do like 10 years.
Come on.
You can be given. You did something bad in one moment in time. What you do now matters.
Listen, you see, we just read that scripture. He that justified the wicked and condemned the just, the Most High says abomination. So I don't know what, but out of all these multiple Bibles she had,
with the NIV,
right? She has no understanding. The Most High said, "Lean not upon your own understanding."
Revelation 6:10. Get Revelation 6:10. This is a shame. So much evil is done in his kingdom in the name of Jesus. And it didn't call his name in that wickedness. I know the Messiah must be like, why is she mention me now? Right? Because they got nothing to do with me.
Revelation 6, verse 10.
And
they cried with a loud voice, saying,
what did they say?
How long?
How what?
How long?
How what?
How long?
How what?
How long?
How long are we going to be putting up with this madness? Read.
O Yahweh, holy and true,
come on,
dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
That's what our fallen soldiers are saying. Our ancestors. They're saying to the Most High, how long are you going to allow these things to take place, right? And not avenge our blood. Blood must be avenged. Everybody understand that? It's a harsh reality. Some people want to forgive everybody for everything. But, that's that Christianity hippie mentality, right? But we're not high, right? We're sober-minded. And sober-minded people know that judgment has its purpose, has its place. Okay? The scriptures tell us it's a time for all things under the sun. You right? She was supposed to do at least 25 to life. She's getting off for 10 years, she got out of jail in 3. Why is that? Because judgment never goes forth, as the scriptures say. Right? Those that sit in position of authority have abused their authority. Right? And through this religious Christianity, have lost the zeal for doing what's right. Right? The scriptures say we must judge, but we must judge righteous judgment. Right? This is unrighteous judgment that we witnessed here. All right? What else you got here? We get Zechariah 7:9. We get Zechariah 7 verse 9. What you got? I'll get that in a moment. Zechariah 7 verse 9. Isaiah 59:14.
Zechariah 7 verse 9. Thus speaketh the Most High of hosts, saying, execute true judgment.
Do what?
Execute true judgment.
Execute true judgment. Read on.
And show mercy and compassion.
Right.
Every man to his brother.
Now you can show mercy and compassion, but you must execute true judgment. Right? What happens in this case? They didn't execute true judgment. They sought to show mercy and compassion with no judgment. You cannot do one without the other. Everybody understand that? Then you're unbalanced. Okay? You gotta have the judgment with the mercy and compassion. Right? But without the judgment, you're lost. Right? You're lost. You haven't respected persons. Matthew 23:23. Right? You haven't respected persons. The Most High instructed us, scripture, we must judge. We must judge things correctly. The woman was a judge, or is a judge on the court, in the court system, and failed to judge. Right? Even in their own court system, they have a symbol for their court. What are they holding in their hand? What is a woman holding in her hand? A scale. And she has what? A blindfold on. Why does the blindfold represent? It's not supposed to matter who you are. No respect of persons. That's what the blindfold represents. And the scale represents what? Judgment and passion. Mercy and judgment, right? But this scale was way off, way too. She took the blindfold off and put the mercy and got no judgment. It was all misconstrued, right? What you all? Yeah, read that.
Matthew 23:23.
Yeah.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
Right?
Hypocrites.
What?
Hypocrites.
Hypocrites. Why are they hypocrites? Read.
For ye pay tithe of mint and anise,
right,
and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
A lot of people, they go to church, right? They read the Bible, right? They think they're doing what's right, but they have omitted the weightier matters of the law. They have omitted parts of the Bible and try to emphasize on what they want to emphasize on. She says, look at John 3:16 and says, whosoever, right? But doesn't break down the understanding of what is it talking about, right? So that's what it's talking about. They pervert the laws of the Most High, the writings of the Heavenly Father. Read on.
Judgment.
What?
Judgment.
Judgment is one of the most important things we have to understand in the Bible. We got to judge things for what they are, right from wrong. Read on.
Mercy.
What?
Mercy.
Applying mercy always is important to apply mercy, but you must have judgment first. Read on.
Well, she just got mercy.
She just got mercy. with no judgment. Read on.
And faith.
And what?
And faith.
And that's when you have, that's what you're supposed to have faith in. That when you judge and you have mercy, that you're doing what is right. All right? You can't omit any part of that. Because then your whole, you're unbalanced. That's why the scripture say what? This earth is going to be judged by who? By the saints. This is going to be judged in righteousness. Okay. Right now, wicked judges are running them up. All right. Listen.
So this judge, she gave a message, right, to her for John 3:16. So I want to rightfully so, I want to send her back a message. Right. Deuteronomy 27, verse 19. Deuteronomy 27, verse 19.
27.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. Deuteronomy 27, verse 19.
Come on.
Cursed be he.
What?
Cursed be he.
Right.
That perverteth the judgment of the stranger.
Come on.
Fatherless and widow. And all the people shall say, Amen.
Right. So perverted the judgment of Moses. This should have never happened. Okay. 10 years, she's out in 3. Okay. Probably going to get a movie deal. Right. She's going to write a book. Right. Even though the Central Park 5. Right. The woman that they said she got raped. Now, how do you write a book when you claim you lost your memory? You don't know anything about what happened. How do you write a book? She said she didn't remember anything that happened. So of course she's gonna get a movie deal. She's gonna get a book writing. Okay. So she's gonna make money off it.
Prosecutor name, she might get judged.
So like I said, I don't know the political ties between, because this wasn't an accident. I don't know how she ends up getting this guy's apartment. So, police, she probably had some kind of special key to open his door. Because I don't believe that his door is open.
What I believe, they had a relationship. They should have checked to see how long they both was living there. They had to bump heads many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Between, like going in and out of the deal. She lived in my shit and she was upstairs. It's some kind of relationship.
Yeah, she the one got the gun, not him,
That's how she gun.
Yeah, but it's
She could leave, say, what you doing about water here,
How
What you
does she-
doing?
What?
They have like 24 lives. So how does she think it is?
Well, they saying that the door is cracked open. That's what they're saying. Shemai, what'd you say?
The lock to his door was damaged, so his family they investigate now why his door is automatically locked like everybody else's door, so it was set up.
Lock is damaged. It's damaged. All of a sudden his door is damaged.
Well, I mean, first of all, when the young lady Bunny that videotaped everything, the crime scene, they said she was still on the crime scene. Even though she's an officer, she was part of a crime. She could have contaminated the whole crime scene. Okay? When they got there, they should have removed her from the crime scene. She could have did anything. She could have planted. She probably planted that weed in there, whatever. Because they said when the kid, where's the cousin one? Can you get they have a video that she put up there. They said she was pacing back and forth. They said I guess she was talking to somebody. She didn't call an ambulance. Whoever she called her back, and she's walking back and forth, pacing back and forth. And all that time, she could have performed CPR or whatever that thing they do on your chest to bring her back to life. She's wasting her time on the phone. Her name was Bunny. No, Bunny. There's a woman that there's a young woman, black woman that she did an interview with this guy, this YouTube guy. Put in Bunny, Bunny.
Video.
Bunny video.
Tiger.
Yeah, it was in the store.
Yeah. Yeah, so this thing is a cover up. They said, he said some guys in Edomites in some suits came by, said they were feds. They didn't say what branch of the federal government they work for. She said they didn't give a business card. She said the only thing one of them gave a first name. He could have said he made up any name. No card, no name, no nothing. They didn't say what branch of the government they was from, anything. They didn't specify.
Yeah, I know that, but that's how they go,
I think it's that second video.
Right here?
Yeah.
In Dallas through 10th of the night. A Dallas Morning News journalist captured an officer firing what appeared to be a pepper ball gun into the crowd.
No, that's not it. Go down. Go down. You see the side.
Guys, put it on the Buddy Speaks.
Oh, it's right here. Buddy Speaks. Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah. I don't know if you can put the camera down so the people on the YouTube can see it. You can put the camera up there.
So back in September 2018, we heard of a case out of Dallas where you had a brother by the name of Botham John, and he was killed by a Dallas police officer named Anna.
So this is a young lady that actually lived in a complex, and she videotaped
story
everything that was going on.
The wrong apartment and killed the brother. We all thought that was strange, and then we end up seeing a video that Bunny shared with the world.
So this is her going back and forth.
And we don't know the full context of everything, so we're talking to Bunny today. Bunny, thank you for joining the show. So Bunny, walk back to that time with us. Did you hear the actual shot? How did you get the video?
I did hear the actual shot, and that's what prompted me to go outside and actually start recording the video. I heard everything prior to some things I'm not at liberty to speak about, but I did hear the actual gunshots, and I heard Mel's voice say, "Oh my God, why would you do that?" And then when I went outside, my video actually started about 60 seconds after the actual shooting took place.
In your estimation, how many shots you heard?
2.
2 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about the Southside Flats apartments. Okay. So Botham John, was he on the 4th floor?
He was on the 4th floor.
And the Amber Geiger, she lives on the 3rd floor at the time?
That's correct.
Okay. So is there any way, shape, form, or even possible for her to confuse his apartment with her apartment?
No, I wouldn't see how. The elevator, the garage, the hallways, everything is marked with what floor you're on. And if she had come from the garage, she would have had to walk down 2 pretty long hallways to get to his door. So she would have passed plenty of indication to let her know she was on the 4th floor.
Okay, it was also stated that when it initially happened, that she stated that she saw the door kind of ajar. Could those doors be ajar for any reason?
No, the doors close automatically. They're firefighter doors. They close as soon as you release them. I've never had the door over there stay open at all.
Now, have you seen Amber Geiger at all prior to this incident?
No, I had never seen him before.
What about Botham John?
I've seen him in passing, yeah.
Did you speak to him here and there?
Just hi, how are you type of deal. I never had a real conversation with him.
But based on your interaction, does he seem like a good guy?
Yeah, he was very, very friendly. He always seemed, when I did see him in passing, he seemed to have good energy about himself and be in good spirits.
So after you heard the shots, you saw her going back and forth at the time period. Was she calling 911? Who was she talking to?
From what I could hear, it did not sound like she was making a police call. It sounded like a personal call. It was just a lot of crying, a lot of hysterics. She was just pacing back and forth for at least 7 minutes, according to my video, at least 7 minutes. And she was on the phone crying. It didn't sound like from what I could hear, it didn't sound like she was calling the police.
So did you think that she was crying because, oh, shoot, or do you think she was crying because she felt she made a mistake?
Honestly, I don't know. I felt like she was just extremely emotional is what I got from it. She just seemed very hysterical.
Did she, in the process of the phone conversation, did she mention anything that she was trying to render aid?
No, I never verbally heard her mention that. And like I said, I physically seen her walking back and forth, so she wasn't rendering aid.
Okay, so all the police and medical personnel arrived. What was the initial conversation that you heard when they arrived?
I heard them come forward to the side and say, "You're doing too much." I did hear another police officer take her cell phone from her. And I know that they took her back over to the actual scene where I'm assuming his body was laying. They did not remove her from the scene. And that's pretty much what I heard when the police arrived.
So after everything, ended, you had this video. I mean, what was your mindset when you saw this video? Like, I know you watched it a couple of times.
I did, and I actually didn't take the video with any, I didn't plan on uploading it at all. I actually didn't upload the video for 2 days until after the actual shooting. The next day, I'm looking on the news, looking on social media, trying to figure out what was going on. And I see conflict in the story. I see that it's what she was saying was completely contradicting to what I had seen. So that's when I made the decision to go ahead and upload the video. I was hesitant. I didn't want that attention on myself, but I kind of felt compelled to do something. So I went ahead and uploaded the video just because I knew what was on my video was contradicting to what she was saying happened.
So once you uploaded the video, it's up on social media. Who's the first person to start contacting you when it went viral?
A lot of people, a lot of celebrities contacted me. Every news station I can think of contacted me. A lot of people contacted me claiming to be both either classmates or cousin or somebody. And I actually was able to get in contact with a legitimate cousin of his. She put me in contact with Allison, Bolton's mother. She put me in contact with Lee Merritt. And then I was able to kind of get my information over into the right hands.
Okay, so all the media outlets that start contacting you, was it local and then also national outlets?
Yes, both. Mm-hmm.
Now, what was the overall theme from the local media and also the national? I mean, did they just want to know information, or they were trying to put words in your mouth? I mean, what was their overall theme?
They all wanted permission to use my video, first and foremost. The majority of them wanted to speak with me. They wanted to do interviews with me. And I actually did do one interview, only under the basis that I would be able to view the interview before they were able to publicize it. They actually chopped up my words a little bit in the interview. They mixed stuff up. They kind of made it seem like I was sympathizing with Amber, saying that she was hysterical and she regretted they kind of made it look like I was defending her. So I did not give them permission to go ahead and air the interview. And after that, I didn't speak with anybody else.
So when you viewed that interview, you took time out to try to share the story. How did you feel once you was watching them literally propagandize, a very, very serious event that you witnessed?
I knew from that moment that I should not speak with anybody else. I knew how they were trying to play this. They were trying to use me as a piece to the puzzle to try to justify what she did. Me being the only witness that was willing to come forward. They wanted me to be on her side. And that made me, I just shut down completely. I didn't speak to nobody else. I didn't take any more calls, no interviews or anything like that.
So after that, you shut down the media, which is a wise decision. In this case that we're talking today, that, there's a lot of propaganda against our community coming from those outlets. We call it the white media because they are literally towing the line of white supremacy. And we need to, speak to our community about these issues. Mm-hmm. So after all of that happened, when did the police, Texas Rangers, etc., start coming to speak to you?
The very next day, and they came consistently every day for at least 2 weeks straight.
Okay, now you say consistently, you say once a day, twice a day?
Once a day, every day for about 2 weeks.
Did they ever tell you that you would maybe help them with the investigation? What were they asking?
Yeah, they told me that they would appreciate my help within the investigation since I did witness more than others. They wanted to know what I witnessed, where I was standing, where I took the video from, what I heard, both before and after the shots. And I did speak with the DA. I did hand over my video to the DA. But once it just got very repetitive, they started asking me the same questions every single day. And that kind of made me feel like they were trying to get me to change my story or try to, set me up in a negative light. So I just completely stopped talking to them as well.
So when you felt like you wanted to stop talking to them, was it because you were starting to feel criminalized?
Yes. I couldn't understand, I couldn't make sense of it, why they wanted to have the exact same conversation every single day. And I did get a feeling like they were trying to get me to give a different answer, and they were trying to pressure me to say something that I said differently yesterday. And at that point, I just discontinued any type of communication with them.
Now, outside of the local police, and also I know the Texas Rangers got involved. Did it get even higher than the Texas Rangers?
Yes, the DA, and also I was visited by the feds as well. I asked them why they wanted to speak to me. They weren't able to tell me why. They weren't able to tell me whose orders that they were following to come speak with me. So I didn't even communicate with them at all.
Yeah, when you say feds, what organization in the federal government visited you?
That's another reason I didn't speak with them. They just told me that they were the feds. That's literally what they said to me. And I knew at that point, you can't even tell me, what branch you're working for. I'm not speaking.
This is $10,000 in my hand right here.
Okay, so they didn't identify themselves as Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security, nothing. They just said I'm the feds.
Yep.
Now, and how did they show up in your home? How did they dress?
They had on suits. They had on black business suits. They denied me any business cards. They denied me the one gentleman did give me his first name. They wouldn't tell me their last names. They didn't have any information.
Well, wouldn't that be real strange to say you do an investigation, you don't know who these men are, they don't give you a business card, they don't give you anything. How do you know they were actually feds?
That's just what they said, and that's why I did not speak with them.
Okay, so they harassed you basically for you stayed about 30 days?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so after all that happened, how did your personal life go, like with your employment, etc.?
Well, people within the community, I guess, found out where I was employed at, and they started harassing the company. They were posting to my company's Facebook page, calling, emailing the corporate office, telling them I'm a radical, I'm anti-police, I'm a black extremist, all this type of stuff. And my employer actually fired me for that. I threatened to go to the media over it, and they actually took it a step further and blacklisted my credentials. So my credentials are no longer valid in the state of Texas.
Okay, well, since they took that measure, let's talk about a few things. The people, I'm using that very loosely, so-called people, they labeled you as a radical. Are you a radical?
I'm not a radical.
Are you a black extremist?
I'm not.
Not at all. Okay, so who do you feel these people are?
All sides of black extremists.
People that disagree with me uploading evidence against Amber.
Okay, so this company that did this to you, did they even hear like your side of the story?
They did. They gave me a chance to explain myself, and they simply told me they didn't want their company associated with a high profile case. Because of that, they were letting me go.
Okay, so what's the name of this company?
I'm not giving up the name.
Okay, so Texas is an at-will state, so
she's fighting an appeal. That's why
unfortunately, they can get away with that. So they blacklisted you. How did they blacklist you?
I actually got my credentials from this company while working for them. I also acquired credentials. I was working in a pharmaceutical company. So they were able to blacklist my credentials because they were the ones that issued it to me.
Okay, was your credentials through the state of Texas?
Yes.
Okay, any kind of way you can appeal that?
I'm in the process of it, and that's why I couldn't give you the name of the company. I'm in the process of appealing that now.
Okay, so how did it hurt your income by blacklisting your credentials?
Well, tremendously. Getting fired, my income stopped coming in 100%. And then trying to get, other jobs, I don't have the credentials anymore. So I would either have to take way less pay, about half of what I was making with my credentials, or I just have to go into a completely different field.
Now, as you're looking for jobs, people kind of recognizing your face a little bit due to them putting your information out there. Do you feel safe here?
No, not at all.
Did you have any incidents to say, I think I need to move around?
Only online. Online only. There's been a lot of, I guess, bullying, maybe harassment via Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. I haven't had any physical incidents.
Okay, what did they say to you online?
Kind of the same things that I was telling you they were posting to my company. There were a few threats. I did get a few threats from people saying they weren't going to leave any witnesses behind, telling me I needed to watch my back.
How come this Amber person didn't get no threats?
These like troll accounts or these actual people accounts that did this?
I did my fair share of digging. A few of them are legitimate accounts, and a few of them were troll accounts as well.
Okay, so after you're dealing with harassment, feel like you're being criminalized, something you had nothing to do with at all. They found a way to take away your job, take away your credentials. They literally put you in a space like you killed both of John.
Right.
So explain to us just kind of like where you're at today with all this.
Today I'm just taking it one day at a time, just trying to deal with everything. In addition to losing my job over this, I'm also an entrepreneur. I got to the point where I was generating income from Instagram with my clothing brand. They deleted my personal account where I initially uploaded the videos. A few days later, they deleted my business accounts as well, from both Instagram and Facebook. So I'm dealing with that. I'm trying to rebuild my followers back up with my business. And that's where I'm at today. I'm just in a state of rebuilding right now.
Okay, so Facebook, Instagram, which is on my Facebook, they decided just to take down your accounts.
Mm-hmm. And they sent me an email telling me that my posts were against the community guidelines. My business account, I don't understand that. It's a clothing brand. There's nothing posted on there except clothes. But they told me it was against their community guidelines, and they deleted the page.
Because based on what you told me, that clothes is not against the community guidelines. So were you selling like lingerie or something?
No, mostly t-shirts.
Okay, t-shirts. Did the t-shirts have any like curse words or? Okay, so what it's at least sounding like to me is retaliation because they have a direct link. Facebook do direct link like law enforcement agencies, so they wanted to probably just harass you, and unfortunately, that way. So you have what, a website now, or how are you promoting your clothing line now?
I'm just trying to rebuild everything. I started from scratch. I also started randomly experiencing problems logging into the back end of my website during this time. So I deleted that website. I'm just starting from scratch right now. And no, my website is not back up yet.
Not back up yet. And from what I saw, you also had a GoFundMe.
I do. One of my ex-coworkers from the job that they let me go, my manager, she watched me go through all of this. She knew what was going on with me. She wanted to do something to help me out. So she actually started a GoFundMe for me. She's since then handed it over to me. But yeah, she did start a GoFundMe for me. Okay,
so no matter what amount someone gives throughout the world, it goes directly to you, correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And the moment you get your clothing line site or wherever you want to, post it at, let us know, because we'd like to share it on our community tab. Because we want to do everything we can here to, people throughout the world, because, we have a lot of people watching throughout the world, could also.
Right, so the camera back.
Yeah. $45,000 to go for good. She deserves every dime. Because to step forth and be a witness, is what the Most High requires of us. He says not to lie on the blood of thy neighbor. You know what I mean? So we have to, being a witness, the Most High make you a witness of something, step forward. And you see how much she had to go through now for stepping forward. Lose a job, lose her credentials, everything. But obviously reporting her GoFundMe is at 45,000.
Yeah.
at 45,000. So all praises, right? So we got.
All right, so we see the injustices, want to show that, to let you know what's going on. For anybody that's still believing in Christianity or John 3:16, stop drinking that Kool-Aid. Okay. So, we bringing this information out to let you know we're going to give me Ezekiel 35:5, and then we'll take a break. Yeah. Ezekiel 35:5.
The book of Ezekiel 35:5.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put a freeze on that GoFundMe too. Because if they were able to shut down, if she has a business account just selling T-shirts and they shut that down, right? Just like they shut down what's that guy the one that's supposed to build a school that was collecting on the money. Omar, they shut his page, shut his GoFundMe down. So we'll see. Because they got the power to do anything they want to do. Read that.
Ezekiel 35:5.
Come on.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
A what?
A perpetual hatred.
Right, perpetual is something that is ongoing. Right? So these nations have what? A what?
Perpetual hatred.
They have a perpetual hatred. Come on.
And has shed the blood.
And have done what?
Has shed the blood.
And shed the blood. Come on.
Of the children of Israel.
Children of who?
Israel.
The children of Israel. So the brother, he's from St. Lucia. They say he's from St. Lucia. Okay, this brother. But I mean, I can